Hello world, welcome back to 80s Music Twin Rank, focusing on 70s music.
They had one hit in the 80s.
Well, two if you count
It's a
solo career
yes.
for Donald Fagen.
Yeah, but it's not the song you would think, because
I
the
know.
New Frontier would be what I would consider, but that didn't short as the other one it did.
Iggy actually was the one that ranked.
IGY.
I call it Iggy. Iggy, parentheses, what a beautiful world. Now, do you know what IGY stands for?
I
Do
did.
you
I
remember?
can't remember, but I did know it.
International Geophysical Year. And it was a literal year that happened
Okay.
for scientists somewhere for some reason. I didn't research that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the funny thing is, that charted on the radio, didn't get a video. New Frontier only went to 70.
And had a video.
Got a video.
Yeah, played all the time.
Right. Left the guy in the bunker with the girl because there was going to be a nuclear war.
Right.
Yeah. So, pretty good video, I thought. Between live action, animation. So, ahead of its time, yes. Now, that's not who we're talking about. We are.
We are talking about Steely Dan.
the band he came from,
Yes.
and includes his singles. Now, Walter Becker, did he have any singles? I don't think he had.
No, I don't think he did.
As a matter of fact, what he had was some bad luck toward the end of his
For producing Gaucho. Yeah. His girlfriend died of an overdose. He got hit by a taxi.
career. He got sued for
got sued because of the parents sued him, but the
for
court
negligent homicide or something.
found it in his favor.
Yeah, but then he got hit by a taxi cab, and then he went off to be an avocado farmer in Maui.
Right.
So didn't turn out all bad for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were perfectionists for sure.
Yeah.
Now, when's the last time you heard Steely Dan on the radio?
You hear the one song all the time, "Reeling in the Years."
Do you?
Is probably the biggest one they play.
Okay.
Well, okay,
Which is why you ranked it way down there.
yeah.
The reason that
it was on their
use
first
all the
album.
time.
I was surprised it was on their first album.
Yes, but you would call it overplayed.
Yeah. Well, okay. Their biggest hit went to number 4. Was "Ricky, Don't Lose My Number."
Yes. And did it make our list?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ricky is supposed to be. I think it was an old flame that he's had as married for his college years.
So it's a girl for sure.
Yeah, I think so. And,
Because that's not how you spell Ricky.
all right, KK. Well, Ricky Lake was probably, I think, KK. I think it
Okay,
was.
you're right. I just remember that
Yeah.
that cartoon Ricky Tikki Tavi. So
Yes.
Ricky, I think.
Yeah. Steely Dan didn't want Ricky to lose his number. Phil Collins didn't want Billy.
Now we make the assumption they're talking about a phone number.
Okay.
Is that what number they're losing?
Maybe,
Because
I don't know.
have you ever lost a locker combination?
Yeah, if you don't, yeah. Hey, this thing is locked. Let's get consider.
A bike
Either
lock?
way, what if it needed a key? You have no
Right.
idea where the key is.
Bike lock. You
Yeah.
lock your bike at
Yes.
a
You need the,
convenience store.
Bolt cutters. I wanted to do another one.
Yeah, well, you definitely don't want to forget your social
I have,
security number.
in my lifetime, I have had dreams where I've forgotten the combination. Have you ever gone to a locker and forgotten it at the moment?
Yes,
Oh my gosh, I can't remember it.
And
There are locks where I can't tell you it unless the lock's in front of me. And then I can do it.
Right,
But if you ask me what
well, yeah, you know, it's like, what do you call that? Muscle memory? Now, passwords are similar to that.
Yeah,
You make a password, you better remember it. Anyways, we digress for sure. So, speaking of Phil Collins, that's our only connection to the last video before our number 2s was Cyndi Lauper, and Phil Collins redid a song like that she did, and then Ricky, Don't Lose My Number.
So Phil Collins is...
The slight connection. Now, they were a duo.
Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the guitarist, Walter Beckett.
Becker.
Becker.
I think it's Becker. And Donald Fagen. But growing up, I didn't know they were a duo.
Okay.
So you know who they remind me of? Alan Parsons Project.
Yes, they do. In fact,
Because
the video,
it's two guys,
Donald
but
Fagen's
it's called a
video,
band.
Donald Fagen's video for New Frontier, kind of brings back memories of, don't talk to, no, ask.
Oh,
don't ask
I
me
wouldn't
why.
want to be like you.
No, don't ask me why. What is it? Don't what's?
Don't answer me.
Don't answer me. Okay, it kind of reminds me of that. It doesn't look though. It's not the same plot. It just reminds me. Maybe it's the animation.
Oh, okay.
Possibly.
Maybe that part.
Anyway,
But
who cares?
but you did mention in Alan Parsons that Gaucho was similar to their Gaudi album, which was like their last album.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So,
No, I
right.
said the title. The title. Is the
Now
same.
you owned their greatest hits.
Yes.
Our mother owned Asia. We didn't know that for the
Yeah,
longest
I
time.
always thought it was Aja.
Yeah,
Not Asia,
I
but-
still want to call it Asia because when you look at it,
Asia was their highest selling album, but my favorite, the one I'd buy, would probably be Royal Scam.
I don't know what I'd buy.
Asia does have the bigger hits. I like the hits on Asia better than Royal Scam, but I like those songs overall on Royal Scam.
Maybe I'd buy their.
My second favorite is Gaucho.
Can't Buy a Thrill. That's what I buy.
Yeah.
Because it's got the two debut hits. Normally, when the two debut hits they release are good, the album's probably good for a debut band.
Yeah, and I've listened to The Night Fly, which is Donald Fagen, and I didn't care for anything else besides the ones he released.
What is a Night Fly?
I don't
anyways?
know. I was thinking The Night Flyer at first, but that was a
Right.
Stephen King story about vampires. I
Or
think.
flies, aren't they just day and night there? I don't know. But, yeah, see, greatest hits though. Are all those songs on their hits, or did they put some songs that are not?
They're all on there. And the only one that wasn't on there, that album was FM,
Yeah.
which was not one of their albums. It was a soundtrack to a movie called FM, which bombed, I guess.
I tried watching that too.
Okay. It was hard watch.
It is a hard
Okay.
watch. What was the video we mentioned them in? Because I know REO Speedwagon
I don't remember.
played. That was way back.
Well, maybe we mentioned it because Martin Mull just died that last year.
Okay.
Maybe we mentioned Martin Mull died.
That's
I don't
true. Now, Donald Fagen also, or was it Walter Becker? Somebody composed Bright Lights, Big City.
know. Yeah, that was both of them.
Both
that
of
was
them?
before their first album.
Now, I don't know any song. I don't remember any songs being in front of that movie. They
Oh wait,
couldn't put on
no,
it.
wait, that would have had to been after, wouldn't it? Because that was an 80s movie, right?
I think it was.
Oh wait, that
late-
was no. They did do something before
It
him.
was 90s. You're right.
They did do something before their first album, but I can't remember what.
Yeah,
It
it was some weird one.
Oh yeah, it was
Long title.
Robert Downey Sr. and Richard Pryor. That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, some weird long title, but they weren't the leads.
Low budget, and probably
It-
couldn't
it-
find it now.
It'd be like one of the Monty Python people doing a solo
Yeah.
movie. It's similar to
Yeah,
that.
okay.
But Bright Lights Big City was the movie right after Light of Day.
With Joan Jett and Michael.
And that had a hit on it. Why this one, being composed by Steely Dan, didn't have a release song is beyond me.
Yeah.
But what else? Oh, and we do have a similarity. Kinda. Follow me on this. So before they formed Steely Dan,
Steely Dan.
Steely Dan, they were in another band called Leather. What was it called? Come on, you help me out there.
I do not.
Leather Canary.
Okay, with Chevy Chase on drums.
On drums. Chevy Chase knows how to play drums.
Yeah.
We have that in common with Chevy
Yeah,
Chase.
I knew he played drums, and I've also heard he has pitch perfect hearing.
Okay.
Crazy if he hears something, he knows what note it is.
Really? Okay. Which, as a drummer, we don't want to have to memorize anything like that. That's why you pick drums. You don't want to have to read music. but I'll tell you what. Before our dad died, there was a picture I found of him.
And you thought he looked like him.
He looked just like the IMDb picture of Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
So, There's more similarities.
Yeah. All right, last thing. So last week I said that Eagles put out Hotel California, and they say stabbed him with the Steely knives, making a reference to Steely Dan, because Steely Dan, in a previous song from Katie Lied called Everything You Did, they have a line that says, "Turn up the Eagles, the neighbors are listening."
They also have Fly Like an Eagle. Is that referring to anybody?
That's Steve Miller Band.
Oh, you're right.
That's Steely.
Oops. Which could be one of our next bands we're going to be doing.
It is.
You're right. So there's too many words floating upstairs. My mistake.
So next time we'll do the Steve Miller Band, who has "Fly Like the Eagles." Not talking about
Were they
They're
referring
not
to
talking
the
about
Eagles?
the band. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Did you research it yet?
Now Timothy B. Schmidt did play
Yes.
in Steely Dan.
As a matter of fact, the Eagles, the three, Timothy B. Schmidt, Don Henley, and Glenn Frey, all had backing vocals on FM.
Yeah, Steely Dan had Michael McDonald in it before he went to the Doobie Brothers.
And one of their guitar
Jeff
players.
Porcaro and somebody else
Skunk
that formed
Baxter.
Jeff Porcaro and somebody else that formed Toto were in
Right.
Steely Dan.
Right.
Mark Knopfler played after
But you couldn't prove that.
yeah, you can't hear it. After Sultans of Swing, he played on there before Money for Nothing and all that.
Yeah, they had a lot of studio musicians. Matter of fact, if you look up any particular item, they'll show like 40 names
Yeah.
of people who played on their
Now,
albums.
if you go on their Wikipedia and look at past members, one of the members is Freddie Washington. And that was the black guy in Welcome Back, Kotter.
Really? I
that was his character name.
Oh,
It wasn't
not-
the actor.
so-
No. A man in Steely Dan's past members
Actually has
the name of the character in
Oh,
Welcome
okay,
Back.
that is funny. I was gonna say, I knew that I recognized the name, but
No,
it's
no.
a real person.
Yeah, no, the real
with
person's
the
name is not
character's
Freddie
name.
Washington. Or Freddie Boom Boom Washington, I think it was.
Okay, got it. All right, but yeah, that's all I had. I didn't have much. So Steely Dan, top 10. And we'll start with our honorable mentions. 2 for me and 1 for you. I would say, I didn't know 10 songs from Steely Dan, so this list to me is not all known songs.
Yeah, so
But they
obviously
did have a
I
lot of
listen
great
to
songs.
Steely Dan way more than you do.
Yeah, but they did have a
The
lot
fact
of,
that our mom had a cassette of Steely Dan
I mean, she listened
is
to it too.
surprising.
Now if we asked her, do you remember Steely Dan? She might not.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so anyways, your honorable mention is My Old School.
Which is about an incident that happened to them.
Yes. And did they get arrested?
A raid, and Donald Fagen got arrested.
Yes. Right.
And they had a $5,000 fine.
He blamed somebody from way back then.
They had to do with drugs. A drug bust at the college.
Now, was he guilty?
I don't know.
Probably. So you can't
No,
totally
they
blame.
shaved his hair because of it.
Oh, and
He was arrested. So.
And one of the so they said whoever turned them in to G. Gordon Liddy.
Oh yeah.
So
Or they said Daddy G, they called him.
yeah, something like that.
Which
So-
I think when he wrote the song, maybe Daddy G's in the song, My Old School.
and that guy eventually went to prison for the Watergate. All right, Justice? Maybe, I don't know. Hey, my 2. First one is their highest charted song. Did not make our top 10. Ricky, don't lose that number.
But it is played in the movie Say Anything with John Cusack.
Right.
He's not holding it. That's in your eyes when he's holding a radio above his head. This is the dad is singing along in the car radio.
Yeah.
With the song.
Now it is a very bland musical song.
Yeah. Now
Do 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 do.
when the song starts, you're like, is the radio playing anything? Because behind there's like a 10-second thing where it's like, and you can barely hear it until the piano comes in.
Yeah. And the other one is Iggy. IGY. Which, you know what? Is there anything it reminds you of?
It does remind me of something. I just don't know
I'll
what.
tell you what it is. The theme song,
Dude, what's happening?
The Odd Couple.
Oh, okay. Oh,
What's
I don't know.
happening? Maybe what's happening.
No, I said that. I told you that.
I'd have to
reminded me of-
re-listen to that theme song.
I told you that reminded me of when we listened to what's the band? Freeze Frame. Jay Giles Band. But the other song,
Okay.
Centerfold, I think.
Gotcha.
One of them. One of those songs I always think of what's happening.
Got it. Again,
Rabbit
this is
Trail.
stuff that happened in the 70s, so that's why it relates. Okay, number 10. We've already mentioned coming from, by the way, out of these 10 songs, 7 different things that they come
Yeah.
from.
There's another reason I like them though. Talk about the IGY. That's a solo career. I like bands that have horns in them. Songs.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is why Huey Lewis is our number one.
And that's why music.
Phil Collins is up there.
Music
Yeah.
back then was better
Yes.
than today's music. You won't
Never
find
hear a
it.
horn instrument now.
No. All right. So, anyways, number 10 comes from that movie. FM. It's FM, and in parentheses, no static at all.
I do not like the intro music. I
know.
know.
Well, you know what? If you watch the video, though, it makes sense because it's like it's totally movie sound.
Yeah.
But it's called No Static at All in parentheses, which
Right.
shows you AM was just going
Full
down
of static.
lower, and you have to battle static. Yes. Now, shoot, what was I gonna say?
No idea.
All right, you
Speaking of static, you know what they don't have anymore?
What?
Remember, like, you watch Poltergeist. The TV, they would watch until real late, and then it would have, what would it have? The Star Spangled Banner or something?
Yeah, and then-
and the president's flag behind it, or the American flag, whatever. And then it would go until the morning when people would start shows again.
snow. all
That'll
over.
never happen again because TV is 24 hours a day.
Yes, I'll tell you what. If you worked the night shift, you came home to nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't watch TV. Anyways,
I'm just saying, could Poltergeist happen anymore? Because where are the ghosts? If
well,
there's
they
no
did.
static.
They did remake it. I don't know how they.
I'm
did
just
that
saying,
part.
the ghost came out of the static, and now that there's no static on the TV.
Anyways, you have FM at 8, despite not liking that intro.
Well, that's why it's at 8.
I have it at 11. It did not make my top 10 list. Obviously, I had 2 honorable mentions. All right, number 9, coming from Gaucho. I have this at 7. You have it at 12. The other single, believe it or not, there were 3. Oh no, wait, that was sorry, Donald Fagen. This I keep thinking of his solo with the last new Steely Dan. Similar in respect. Another song you won't remember from that album, "Time Out of Mind." And you know what you won't remember? Mark Knopfler's on it.
Yeah, you
Did
can't
you listen to
you
it?
can only hear him in the intro, really.
Yeah. So, and reading the comments as listening to this song, people are like, most perfect song ever. I'm like, what? Some people have weird opinions. But that came from Gaucho. Their
Well, they
last
were
release
they
song.
were at the point with their perfection that the engineering was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
But
Did they?
But if you do that, everybody always says, when I hear people talk about music and when you're trying to get that perfection in music, then you lose all like the soul.
Yeah,
and stuff
you
like
do.
that.
You do. But Alan Parsons produced a couple of their albums, right?
I don't recall that.
And there's another thing they're similar in respect to. Alan Parsons and Steely Dan. They have a lot of songs that are not radio friendly.
Okay.
All right, number 8, coming from Asia. They had pretty much 2 big hits from that album. 3 songs released, 2 big hits, both of them women's names. This is Josie, which I'm not as familiar with, but I had this at 12. Worse than FM. You had it way down at 4.
Why you don't like that one? Repetitive, you think? Maybe is that why?
You know, I didn't think anything stood out amongst it. There was no
There's
part of the
so
song
many
that
parts in there
jumped
that stand out.
to me.
The drums, the intro is a different intro. The guitar, do, which reminds me of one of their other songs. I think it's Deacon Blues. Has
Maybe
a
that's
similar
why.
intro.
I think that the more songs you listen to of Steely Dan, it does sound like every song sounds alike, because they do have a unique sound to just them. You know of another band that sounds like Steely Dan?
No, not really.
Yeah.
So I thought Josie was on a vacation far away. But when Josie comes home, so good.
This song came way before that one.
And they sang this on David Letterman.
Did they? Okay. All right, number 7, coming from Katie Lied, and they try to, they had that cover with a Katie did on it.
Yeah.
So are they saying Katie did lie?
Yeah, but I guess there was another
the
song
joke?
they released on a previous album that started with Katie Lies. I can't remember what song it was.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why Katie lied.
And the creature's called a Katie did. So
Yeah,
is
I
that
know,
the
yeah.
answer?
No, that's a play on the words, that's
Okay.
all.
All right, I have this at 8. You have it at 7. The only song I remember hearing on the radio from this album, Black Friday, and it's in the triple beat. So this one is unique to me, unlike Josie. So are they talking about the shopping day, Black Friday?
I don't think so. That was probably named after this song, I'll bet.
I don't know. Yeah, and a lot of times when
Because maybe there was a Friday where something bad happened, because
That's
I know
what
there is
people
something
do.
called Black Sunday.
Yes.
Because there was an incident at a stadium.
No, that was a
think.
movie. That was a movie.
Oh,
I watched the
wasn't
movie.
That, wasn't that based on a
Robert
true story?
Shaw was on the
Was that
outs-
not based on a true story?
No.
Okay.
No, where somebody flew. Well, maybe they tried to do the Hindenburg
Okay.
with a blimp that crashed. Obviously, this movie, Black Sunday, somebody tried to veer a blimp into the Super Bowl stadium. They were
Okay.
going to blow it up on purpose. That never happened.
Okay.
In case you didn't know. But yeah, anytime something horrible happens on a specific day, they just put the word black.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Black Monday is when the stock market dropped one day.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what you. Black means horrible. Number 6, coming from your favorite album, The Royal Scam. My 10, that's how far down I put it. And your number 3, Kid Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Tell the story again.
Based on some drug dealer or made drugs, and that story reminded me of like Walter White and Breaking Bad.
I've never seen Breaking Bad. I saw
Because his stuff is really pure, and my favorite part of that song every time I listen to it is when he goes, "Is there gas in the car? Yes, there's gas in the car."
So they sing
And
it.
then you read the story, it's like they didn't have gas in the car; they ran out of gas.
So they
That's why he didn't
sang
get away.
it. They sang the conversation.
Yeah. But they ran out of gas, I guess, when they were trying to get away,
And that's how they got arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was not gas in the car.
All right. Just in case anybody doesn't know history, Charlemagne is a terrible dictator from France, right? Killed lots of people.
Okay, but this is Kid Charlemagne.
Yeah. Who's naming the kid Charlemagne, knowing it's a dictator? Okay. Number 5, coming from their debut album, Can't Buy a Thrill. Can you buy a thrill?
They can't.
That's what they said. But are they right?
And on the cover, they have a line of prostitutes, and they said that had to do with the.
All right. Would you say skydiving is a thrill?
Maybe. Then you pay for it, so you must
Pay
be
for it, so
buying
you
it.
can't buy a thrill.
I've never done it because that'd be the riskiest thing I would ever do. Yeah.
I would imagine you
Our
can't
mom
pay-
also thinks she went skydiving. We know she did.
Okay.
I think our sister did.
Yes. Anyways, both of us put this song at 6, and that is "Do It Again." And
You should do it again.
both of us put this at 6. Do it again. And by the way, this is when you listen to this song. Tell me you don't at first think it's Santana, because it does sound like
Yeah.
a Santana song. Obviously, it
Sounds like
does.
Black Magic Woman a little
Right.
bit. Yes.
Okay, that will be our number 5.
Gotta go back, Jack. Do it again.
They took a hit from Paul Simon.
Rhyming.
Rhyming back in Jack.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, coming from that same album, my number 1, and your number 10 because it's overplayed, and that's Reeling in the Years. How do you reel in the years?
I don't know. I will give credit on the guitar, especially the beginning. And how do you do that so fast?
I don't know. I watched some of the videos. I watched a guitar player, and both fingers are moving incredibly fast at the same time. So I don't know how you memorize stuff like that. But reeling, you talk about fishing, I think.
Yeah.
Reeling in. How do you reel in years? I don't know. But one of their greatest hits albums is called Reeling in the Years.
But the lyric goes, "Are you reeling in the years?" Right? So they're asking somebody if they're reeling in the years, and the other guy goes, "Dick, what are you talking about?" I don't know.
Maybe it's it's a birthday card. You're really getting older now. Reeling in those years. Okay, number 3 coming from Asia or Aja. My number 2. And I would switch this with Reeling in the Years. When I first did my top 10, one of those, this is why I like researching these songs. You forget about a song that a band did, and then you suddenly hear it again, and you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot they did that one. Peg was that for me. Just with the beginning, the cool jazz beginning, which I thought those were keyboards, and here it was a horn section when you watch it live. My number 2, your number 5, that's Peg. I would put this at 1 now. If I redid my list, I'm putting it at number 1.
Peg it looking back.
It's just got so much. And Jimmy Page calls this the best guitar solo of any song.
Okay. What kind of solo is the one we previously did? What did we just do?
Reeling in the Years?
No. Before that was
Do It Again.
Do It Again. What is that? That is. Keyboards, right? It's just really high and
well, like I said, they have a unique sound on all their instruments. All right, and they had to go through 7 guitarists before they got that guitar solo.
The only thing, remember, it's like her old favorite foreign movie.
Which foreign movie?
I don't know. They don't say.
What's your favorite foreign movie?
What's your favorite foreign movie?
There are a few good foreign movies out there. Kazua. No, that's not my favorite.
Yeah. I'll tell you what about Steely Dan. All these songs are fun to play on the drums.
Yeah, they are.
Peg, for sure. At the beginning. Yeah, but you get doing the cymbal.
I just tried it, yes. Okay, by the way, what is your I'm going to throw you my favorite foreign movie now that I thought about it.
Oh, yeah. Would you call Pan's Labyrinth a foreign movie?
Yes.
Because it's you have to read subtitles the entire thing. That's my favorite foreign movie.
No, mine is Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
I didn't care for that.
I did. Uniqueness of them defying gravity and
Hero.
battle.
I liked Hero better than that.
You know what?
Hero was pretty
Now you
good.
said that. If you want to throw in like
when all the arrows are being shot and they're like stuffing them with
if you want to throw in martial art movies, Jackie Chan's First Strike is amazing. I like his fight scenes. Okay, number 2. Coming from the solo career of Donald Fagen from Nightfly, New Frontier. Your number 2, my number 4. And practically the only video you'll get out of their entire career.
Yeah, everything else will be if you see it, they're live. Right. If you watch any of their songs.
Yep. Apparently they got this phrase from John F. Kennedy.
So with them, okay, something I read is we can thank them for a drum machine. There was a producer they worked with. There's like the drummer, they just couldn't get the drum beat for this song, and they did like a lot of takes. And they're like, we don't even need the other musicians were playing, but they're like, we don't need those. We got their stuff. We're just trying to get the drum beat.
Okay.
And they're like, if we could just have something do it, like a machine do it. And the producer's like, I could get you something like that. He's like, all you need is like $150,000. They gave it to him. And he came back later, not that day, I mean, it probably took a while, and he came back with this drum machine that did this stuff. It's called the Wendell.
You started by saying we can thank him, or could you say we can blame him?
Blame
now, bands don't use real instruments at all.
I know, but some things are just need to be programmed.
I do understand
Like
that.
Howard Jones, things can only get better. That intro, he did that, not Phil Collins.
Right.
I'm sure he did it with a drum machine.
Yeah.
So,
And one of my favorite Phil Collins songs is "Take Me Home."
and that has a drum machine.
Because you know, well, somebody would have to come. Well, no, Chester Thompson can actually do that, but the
Yeah.
it's, I mean, it's the same beat
Yeah.
through the whole song.
Yeah.
I don't know that somebody could just bear to play that
Yeah.
the whole song. All right, that leads us to our number one song, Gaucho, which again, we put our top 2 songs from the 80s, which still shows the 70s bands, their best songs are in the 80s. And that would be your number 1, my number 3, Hey 19. Hey 19!
Yeah. But you forget her name? Like, hey, 19. My name is. Like,
Not there.
yeah. And it's supposed to be like a 30-year-old dating a 19-year-old, how they have nothing in common.
Right.
Which
There-
is substitutes.
There is
We should have done that.
There is a, later in the years, 4 years later, there was a song called 19 by Paul Hardcastle.
Okay.
And he speaks it the whole way through, and it's about being drafted for the Vietnam War. That somehow got in the top 40 as well, and it shouldn't have. But anyway, so number 1 song, Hey 19, for, Time Out of Mind was their last ranked song, but this was their last hit.
I used to be, when this song was on the radio, and I'd catch it on the radio, I would always only hear the second half. I'd never get to hear the first half. And I'm like, I was always upset because I always turned the station just after half the song was over. Because the first half is totally different than the second half. Because once they go to the second half, they don't go back to that kind of.
You're right.
Singing.
Yeah. So, and this is probably the only song you'll ever hear Cuervo Golden.
Yeah, that's the second half. And how do they got some good
They do.
musicians to play. Just the intro. Bam!
Yeah.
How did they do that guitar intro? Yeah.
I know. So, unique. About the time we got to Steely Dan. I remember somebody asked me if I ever liked Steely Dan, and I think I told them no. But yeah, years later, these bands that I thought I didn't like, I'm growing to like because today's music
Sucks.
All right, and so we're gonna do the same thing next week. A 70s band that maybe had 1 or 2 hits in the 80s. And like you said, that was the Steve Miller Band. So that's next time. See you then. Bye.
Bye.